How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the one strategy that's made me over $50,000, and that's going to be the kiss of death. We can look at the kiss of death as the final manipulation leg before a high time frame draw on liquidity is hit. In this video, I'll show you how it can be fractalized, how you can probe order flow, and how you can follow turtle soup to easily enter and easily hold to the final draw on liquidity. Do you have problems spotting and staying confident in the draw on liquidity? I'll help you out there as well. What I've tried to do to break it down easier is break it down into 4 subsections, and from those 4 subsections, go lower. So as you can see, we have liquidity pools, time frame alignment, market profile, and order flow. And they all break down to lower sub tiers to get a deeper understanding of that specific category. Without further ado, let's get straight into how I trade the kiss of death model following turtle soup.
Before we get started, I know there's going to be some nerds in the comment section. I don't have every single thing that you need to know from ICT or like even maybe day or like SSMT, stuff like that. How I trade is how I trade. I use majority of what you see on the screen. Of course, I hold some stuff off for people that ask the right questions. We start getting into deeper conversation, and that's really why, I made a Discord and like to connect with, people like that.
I'm not going to be covering AMD or time-based liquidity. I'm not going to be covering high time frame news, IPTA, or seasonal tendencies. We're more going to be looking at SMT, power of 3, MMXM, our internal to external, equal highs or lows, our previous day and week, as well as market structure, failed PDAs, and key highs and lows. If you want a deeper look at these things, just let me know in the comments. I can make a video on daily, weekly profiles, stuff like that, either high time frame news. Just let me know what you guys would like to see down below. Of course, these are key parts of it. It's not like you can just go off and try and trade this or pattern trade it. You really do need to know these things, especially daily and weekly profiles. But what we're going to be covering are the key basics, understandings of, right, the kiss of death. It's a market maker strategy. So I use power of 3, I use SMT. I can add all of these things in here and be with my knowledge of it and my experience with it and understand and show you guys the same type of trades. And that's exactly what we're going to be covering, are trades that I've taken, either putting it at Discord or so on and so forth. Time frame alignment and understanding what time frame you're trading on is super important. If we look at this chart overall, you can see we're in a downward bearish trend, so you would be wanting to take short trades. But if you look at the daily, you can see overall we've been uptrending and we're finally coming lower after creating an SMT at the highs, right? Equal highs. So for me personally, I haven't been the most bearish. I can, see when I don't need to long inside this, big black, just bearish rush. But anyway, we come back to an hourly time frame. And what I was showing here was on that daily time frame where we souped out the high into an FEG and moved lower. And then to our lower low. And if we look to the left, what do we have? Right, this low here. This is a very good example overall of our kiss of death, right? With the SMT at the previous all-time highs. We go back to the daily. Like we talked about, we can see our accumulation legs are equal lows, triple equal lows here, low resistance, and even into the trend line, and then this failure swing here. Zooming in more, we can see on that daily time frame, we wick into the daily FEG, move lower after creating double equal lows right here at this low. So that is a textbook classic kiss of death. We accumulate, manipulate, distribute. Our 6 a.m. candle opens. We zoom even lower. It's at 8 and Wednesday. And I'm not sure if we had news that day, to be honest with you, but that's another layer that you can add onto it for your weekly and daily profile. Also, we have that Monday, right, in-dog that we just, our in-wall, excuse me, that we just continue from. Also, if you look after the 12 midnight open, we open our open high into the in-wall to move lower. Open high, low close. We're using a lot of different couple concepts. We're using all these concepts to add more and more confluences and to understand price action. And if you understand ICT as a whole, following order flow, seeing an FEG, a breaker, these things should come naturally. Now you just have to understand, oh, why do we invert this FEG? Why do we reverse here? Why do we soup this low out and then come back inside the range before just running, straight to a newer high or a lower low? Exactly like we did here. Why did we move higher before we moved lower to take out that low? Using our higher time frame market structure, all of this becomes apparent that we're bearish to that low. After we break that low, what happens? We can see that order flow almost starts to flip. How our bearish PD arrays were reactive, they're no longer as reactive, and they're being broken by bullish PD arrays. You can see here as we liquidate this low, all within the same 4-hour candle. If we move to the 4-hour candle, we move below, and then the next one moves right into a rejection block. You can see two types of candles here. It's either going to be a big black candle into a failure swing with your CSID, or it's going to be a big black candle and that low is going to be souped out, and then we're going to move higher. You can think of it as almost two algorithms souping out the low, and now we're looking for our buy side to be taken out and looking for our kiss of death, which should come close to the draw on liquidity. We always have to keep in mind what time frame we're on. We're on an hourly time frame. We're having to keep in mind that we just can't pick and choose bottoms. We can't just long any, big down closure candle, right? We're not trying to catch a falling knife, and we're trying to catch good trades and be able to, in this video, catch the kiss of death. From here, I would maybe enter here, find a turtle soup trade, right? If we look on the 1 hour, we can see using time-based liquidity, market structure, and those previous up close and down close candles as roadblocks in bearish bullish price action. We sweep the low, and we can see our buy side model forming of our MMXM. Once we soup out that low, break the high and close above, what do? We see at 6 it opens, moves higher. We come into a time-based manipulation. 3 a.m. London-based manipulation into the order block. Previous down close candle there, previous down close candle there, with our lower low, higher high created, right? Lower low, big black candle, higher high, biggest green candles. I've taught in plenty of videos how to catch the turtle soup down here, or even right in the order block at a time-based manipulation. But if you're looking at Thursday and now you're coming into the Sunday and you're like, oh, what should we do? Right? You see open, 6 big black bearish candle after reaccumulating, right? We're inducing liquidity. Are you not confident in the draw on liquidity? Well, as everything we've laid out, we've had accumulation, strong manipulation, right? Followed by a displacement distribution back inside the range, then reaccumulation, right? We did have a big black candle at 6 p.m., but as I always tell you guys, we have to open low first, then high close. Power of 3 right there. So our 6 opens low, and then what do? As we pointed out previously, we come in and soup it 3 a.m. time-based manipulation right at London, and then you can see even here low time frame, right? If we zoom in a little bit more, go to like the 30-minute, the same way I was telling you guys, right? We could either use the wick of the big black candle, or we can soup that candle out. We accumulate, manipulate, and then manipulate that low one more time. Pointing back to this previous drawing right here that I know it's ugly, right? Either the rejection block soup or the real, double tap turtle soup. That also is something that I didn't write down, right? More times than not, you want to fade the first tap, catch the second tap, and you guys see it's almost like I drew this chart and, tried to teach, or, right? You guys can look at almost all the price action going back. Not every day is going to be at 3, a high or low of the day. Not every day is going to be at 8, right? You guys can see this low is at 2 p.m., right? I don't like the PM reversals, but I'm showing you guys how to probe order flow. You see that we open with an end dog, displaced. We come into a time-based manipulation, an obvious manipulation. And even if you don't want to enter in the soup down here, you can wait for us to close above with displacement, continue higher. Even here, right? You can close above, we open low, and even if you're nervous somewhere, right, you can use the low time frame, 15-minute, 5-minute, find you a better entry inside of this here. And also, if you didn't notice, right, we have that small accumulation, manipulation, followed by the distribution. And if you want to look even lower time frame, go to the 5-minute, reset the chart view. You should be able to see, right, this market maker buy model here. We have plenty of equal highs, induced liquidity, equal highs here, and you're saying, oh, this is souped, this is souped. Use your higher time frame, we're using the hourly, the 4 hour gap that we have here, our previous down close candles inside of that displacement, as well as reaccumulating above the high, and our accumulation levels from the left side. We're not using these as support, but we're understanding when, where, and why we need to manipulate and where that will draw us higher from. We find our entry, you can use the inverse, the CSID, I don't really give a damn. Then you can see, and I don't mean that to be like, oh, I don't give a damn. You can enter any way you want to. That's what I want you to have in your mind. You can enter however you want to. There's no set model. If you can read price action this way, you can enter in the soup. If you miss the soup, you don't FOMO, but you can find an entry in the continuation. A continuation soup, which this is, right? Our kiss of death. We have our original soup, second soup, or even third soup. This is your first leg soup, second leg soup. Every kiss of death model is the second leg reaccumulation of the buy side of the curve, or sell side of the curve, but finishing off your buy model into this drawn liquidity. Low resistance, accumulation legs, big manipulation below a low, below a previous day low, and then back inside the range. We see we continue and then deliver to that final drawn liquidity. Even here, right, coming back using that previous down close candle as a roadblock at 8:30. Wow, probably I think that's Monday. Probably no news, but still delivers. So you can see we're in OTE and just keeps delivering higher to that drawn liquidity, giving not many entries here because we've had our kiss of death into an equilibrium, into an OTE, down here, souping out the low, and higher time frame where we're at in the range, calls for vicious moves back to the upside, right? If we're violating the downside, more times than not, we're going to violate right back to the upside. And that's why I have such a bullish tendency most times, but that's not like you can long all through these down candles. You have to see the flip of order flow. You have to probe order flow. And if you guys don't understand what probing order flow means, it's literally just as simple as this, right? We're coming in here, we're seeing others in SMT. I might not need to long here, right? This should have held. We should have displaced past the high already into this junk, displacing here. This should hold. You see we're breaking inverse this. There's some red flags here. You're like, okay, I don't need the long. Even how we see on the higher time frame lower. Daily FEG, wick, close, and it just vomits lower, right? Wick, close, FEG, vomits lower to the drawn liquidity. Kiss of death here, continuation soup, and your SMT, right? Your first leg soup, kiss of death on the second leg. All this was ugly. You get one final manipulation, daily FEG, lower. And then you guys can see how we close and then react from that. And then I kind of, showed the kiss of death lower time frame here. And that's why it's so important to understand time frame, because one like this on the hourly is definitely lower probability than one on the daily. But you're going to find these hourlies one more often. So, for me, I trade each session, either the Asian, London, New York AM. I'm telling you guys the six, I'm not going to say each candle. Let me not get that far into it. But I'm telling you guys each session, there's time-based manipulations for each session. And if the session doesn't follow the parameters, say we're ranging inside of the higher time frame range, that's when you don't trade it, when you're inside of the range. Friday's Asia session was not a good day to trade. I put that on my week 3 road to 100K payouts. Took that trade, super unconfident, took an L. I was not surprised at all. I knew it was coming. Literally knew it was coming. That's why I set the parameters for only losing 200 that day. And at that point, I need to fix myself, not take the trade that day, and understand that I'm 4 for 4 on the week. I don't need to force the 5 for 5 to look cool. So stuff like that, mental, that's where you need to fix it and understand that it's price. It's going to do what it does, and you need to be on the side where you're confident and you do you see the same things happening every day. And this is what happens every single day. You guys can go back on your own charts. Cover your own price action. Sorry about the hair. It's like 1 in the morning. You guys can see it's 2 in the morning. So you guys can easily probe order flow. You guys can easily enter inside the breaker, the IFEG, an FEG, wherever you want. You follow the turtle soup, follow the higher time frame, probe order flow, enter where it makes sense inside of OTE, inside bright time-based manipulations that take out certain lows. I get we didn't take out this Asia low here. Right, we have this 8 p.m. low taken out. Right in the moment, right, there might have been some question for the soup, but after 4 closes above with an FEG, you know, I know it's hard to wait for 6, but you have that order block there. We've liquidated. Everything is in line for you to continue higher. I really don't have much more for this video. Went straight into depth of the strategy, tried to cover all the small points. Of course, I'm not going to be, I'm not putting the RR thing on the screen and showing you this CISD entry here. But if you guys, want that, let me know in the comments. Anything, any questions you guys want, any videos you want, put them in the comments. Be sure to like the video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.